Symbols, Meaning, and Society, The Legacy of Clifford Geertz in Anthropology. UGC-Net Anthropology. Part 6. Welcome to AnthroNet Academy. A study aligned with the UGC-Net Anthropology syllabus. Description box. Please visit the description box for books references. Dear learners, if you find this content helpful, please consider subscribing to AnthroNet Academy. Your support really means a lot and keeps me motivated to create more valuable content for you. About the series. The series will be divided into 10 parts. Each video will focus on one prominent anthropologist with a detailed list of 10 major books they have written, explained with brief descriptions. This series aims to help students, UGC-Net aspirants, and anthropology enthusiasts get familiar with the foundational thinkers and texts of our discipline. This is part 6 of the series, and we are beginning with a legendary figure whose work has shaped the field in a profound way. Stay tuned for all 10 parts by the end of this series. You'll have a comprehensive list of 100 authors and their books at your fingertips. Clifford Geertz. Clifford Geertz, 1926 to 2006, was one of the most influential cultural anthropologists of the 20th century. Known for his interpretive approach to anthropology, Geertz emphasized the importance of understanding symbols, meaning, and culture through what he famously called thick description. 1. The Interpretation of Cultures, 1973. Anthropological Focus, Symbolism, Thick Description, Interpretive Anthropology. Description. This is Geertz's most influential book, a collection of essays that laid the foundation for interpretive anthropology. The key concept is thick description, an approach that explores not just what people do, but what their actions mean within their cultural context. It includes famous essays like Deep Play, Notes on the Balinese Cockfight, where Geertz analyzes cockfighting as a metaphor for Balinese social structure, masculinity, and status rivalry. This book revolutionized anthropology by turning attention away from structures and systems toward meaning and interpretation. 2. Local Knowledge, Further Essays in Interpretive Anthropology, 1983. Anthropological Focus, Legal Anthropology, Medical Anthropology, Epistemology. Description. This follow-up to the interpretation of cultures broadens Geertz's application of interpretive methods to law, art, religion, and knowledge. He introduces the idea that knowledge is always local and embedded in cultural context. Essays like Local Knowledge and Fact and Law in Comparative Perspective demonstrate how people across cultures define truth, justice, and legitimacy differently. Geertz emphasizes the plurality of rationalities, challenging the idea of universal knowledge. 3. Islam Observed, Religious Development in Morocco and Indonesia, 1968. Anthropological Focus, Comparative Religion, Symbolic Anthropology. Description. This comparative study examines how Islam is practiced and interpreted in two very different Muslim-majority countries, Morocco and Indonesia. Geertz focuses on how historical, political, and cultural contexts shape religious expression, showing that Islam is not monolithic. He illustrates how in Morocco Islam became linked with activism and asceticism, while in Indonesia it took a more syncretic, spiritual form. It's a foundational work in comparative anthropology of religion. 4. The Religion of Java, 1960. Anthropological Focus, Syncretism, Ritual, Local Islam. Description. Based on fieldwork in East Java, This is a richly detailed ethnography of Javanese religion, which Geertz divides into 3 cultural streams: Abangan, folk Islam; Santrai, Orthodox Islam; and Priyayi, elite spiritualism. The book shows how religion in Java is deeply syncretic, blending Islamic, Hindu-Buddhist, and indigenous traditions. It was among the first works to present religion not as doctrine, but as a lived, layered experience. 5. Agricultural Involution: The Processes of Ecological Change in Indonesia, 1963. Anthropological Focus: Economic Anthropology, Development Studies. Description: Commissioned by the government during the Cold War era, this book examines how colonial and post-colonial agricultural policies shaped Java's rural economy. Geertz introduces the concept of agricultural involution, where instead of increasing productivity, more labor gets absorbed into increasingly inefficient systems. The book is widely cited in development studies and remains a critical analysis of modernization theory. 6. Negara, the theater state in 19th century Bali, 1980. Anthropological Focus: Political Anthropology, Symbolism, Performance. Description: In this innovative work, Geertz argues that the Balinese state, Negara, functioned not as a bureaucratic or military apparatus, but as a theater state, a regime organized around ritual, ceremony, and display. He redefines political power as not just coercion or control, but symbolic performance. This work profoundly influenced studies in political anthropology, performance theory, and cultural studies. 7. Works and Lives: The Anthropologist as Author, 1988. Anthropological Focus: Reflexive Anthropology, Writing Culture. Description: Here, Geertz turns inward to examine how anthropologists write, the rhetorical strategies they use, and how their texts shape knowledge. He critiques earlier anthropological styles that claimed objectivity and instead shows how ethnographies are literary constructions with narrative choices and authorial voices. This book played a key role in the writing culture movement, which questioned the authority and representation in anthropological writing. 8. After the Fact: 2 Countries, 4 Decades, 1 Anthropologist, 1995. Anthropological Focus: Reflexive Ethnography, Methodology. Description: This is Geertz's intellectual memoir, where he revisits his fieldwork in Indonesia and Morocco. He discusses what it means to do anthropology not just in theory, but as lived experience. It's both a personal reflection and a methodological statement on the limits of ethnographic knowledge, the role of the anthropologist, and the nature of cross-cultural understanding. 9. Available Light: Anthropological Reflections on Philosophical Topics, 2000. Anthropological Focus: Anthropology and Philosophy, Epistemology. Description: In this collection, Geertz addresses broad philosophical questions like truth, relativism, ethics, and interpretation from an anthropological standpoint. He argues that anthropology offers a unique lens on philosophical problems because it engages with real people's lived beliefs and practices. This book bridges the gap between anthropology and philosophy, making it essential for interdisciplinary studies. 10. Life Among the Anthros and Other Essays, 2010, posthumous. Anthropological Focus: Reflections on Anthropology, Critiques of the Discipline. Description: Edited posthumously, this collection includes lesser-known essays by Geertz on anthropology, culture, and academic life. It offers witty and insightful commentaries on fellow anthropologists, intellectual trends, and the evolution of the discipline. This is an excellent resource for understanding how Geertz viewed the broader anthropological community and his own role within it. Major contributions of Geertz to anthropology. Introduced thick description as a central ethnographic method. Pioneered interpretive anthropology, focusing on symbols, meaning, and culture as texts. Emphasized the importance of context in understanding culture. Challenged positivist and universalist models of social science. Helped launch reflexive anthropology and the critique of representation. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Anthronet Academy, for more insightful content on anthropology. Stay safe and connected.